Hey everybody, and welcome back to Garage Stadium for this next installment of do-it-yourself fuel injection. So the last time I made a video of this, I showed you the motor running with the GM throttle body fuel injection system, but it was running in limp mode, so it ran really crappy. So I want to make another video explain in a little more detail how that system all works, and also show you what it should sound like when the motor's running correctly. So I guess I'll start down below here. It's my jury-rigged exhaust system just to get the exhaust out of the garage a little bit. Got myself a muffler down there, and then some gutter drain pipes. Over here I have a fuel can, fuel filter, fuel pump. Some people might recall I took all this stuff out of the junkyard. The only thing I couldn't get was a fuel pump. That sucker was like $125 and was probably the single most expensive part of the system. So the fuel goes up here, up to the throttle body itself. Those are the two injectors right there. Then the adapter plate that I made myself, it's in two pieces, a lower part that bolts to the intake manifold, and then there's a gasket, an upper part that bolts to the lower part, and then the throttle body bolts to that with another gasket. All those gaskets I cut myself on a CNC machine, and the adapter I also cut myself on the CNC machine. So moving over here to the computer area, we got the battery down there. Over here we have the oil pressure switch and a little oil manifold I made so that everything else can connect to it as well. You have your computer, diagnostic connector, fuel pump relay. I think that's the igniter right there. That's the ignition coil, obviously. That thing is the knock retard module. Up there you have the MAP sensor, manifold absolute pressure, which goes over via a vacuum hose to the intake manifold. I guess I did forget to point out a few other things over here. So what we have here, the IAC valve, the throttle position sensor, coolant temperature sensor right there, and then the O2 sensor right here. And that's pretty much all the sensors you need to make this thing run. Some people would say that not even all of those things are required, particularly the O2 sensor, but if you want it to go into closed loop, it definitely is. You might notice my breath right now. It's definitely below freezing in this garage, and that gives me a chance to demonstrate one of the coolest features of the fuel injection system, and that is that it starts right up with none of that choke BS that you're used to having to deal with if you're used to having a 60 or a 40 or whatever, and that's really valuable here in Boston. So I'm going to turn it over now, and you'll see how easily it turns over, which is awesome. One little thing I will tell you, though, this thing is bone cold. It hasn't run for about a month, I guess. But one thing I did do is prime the fuel pump in order to get fuel up into the injectors. You might say that's cheating. I would argue that in a normal starting situation there would already be fuel up in there, and so in order to best emulate on-street performance, I think I did the right thing. But you can make your own conclusions and post a comment. Okay, so now I'm going to try to start this thing up for you. The first thing you'll notice when I flip the switch, you might hear a little humming. That's the fuel pump turning on. The computer will flip the relay for 2 seconds and then shut it off, and then the fuel pump won't come back on again until oil pressure comes up in the motor. So now I'm going to turn it on. You hear that pumping? Now I'm going to try to turn it over. There you go. Now it is running a little bit rough right now because, like I said, it's really bone cold. Well, almost had a stall there, but stall recovery works. If you look real close, you can actually see the fuel coming out of the injectors. I think now it's got a little heat in it. You see the vacuum's around 20 inches of mercury, and it's pretty stable. So it's actually now we should be able to flip the accelerator and